This is chapter 12 of If I Stay. I've got exactly 20 minutes before our manager has a total fit. Brooke Vega's raspy voice booms in the hospital's now quiet lobby. So this is Adam's idea. Brooke Vega, the indie music goddess and lead singer of Bikini, in a trademark punky glam outfit. Tonight it's a short bubble skirt, fishnets, high black leather boots, an artfully ripped up shooting star t-shirt topped off with a vintage fur shrug and pair of black Jackie O glasses. She stands out in the hospital's lobby like an ostrich in a chicken coop. She's surrounded by people, Liz and Sarah, Mike and Fitzy, shooting star rhythm guitarist and bass player, respectively, plus a handful of Portland hipsters who I vaguely recognize. With her magenta hair, she's like the sun, around which her admiring planets revolve. Adam is like the moon, standing off to the side, stroking his chin. Meanwhile, Kim looks shell-shocked, like a bunch of Martians just entered the building, or maybe it's because Kim worships Brooke Vega. In fact, so does Adam. Aside from me, this is one of the few things they had in common. I'll have you out of here in 15, Adam promises, stepping into her galaxy. She strides towards him. Adam, baby, she croons. How are you holding up? Brooke encircles him in a hug as if they are old friends, though I know that they only met for the first time today. Just yesterday, Adam was saying how nervous he was about it, but now she's here acting like he's like his best friend. That's the power of the scene, I guess. As she embraces Adam, I see every guy and girl in the lobby watching hungrily, wishing, I imagine, that their own significant other were upstairs in grave condition so they might be the ones getting the consolatory cuddle from Brooke. I can't help but wonder if I were here, if I were watching as regular old Mia, would I feel jealous too? Then again, if I were regular old Mia, Brooke Vega would not be in the hospital lobby as part of some great ruse to get Adam in to see me. Okay, kids, time to rock and roll. Adam, what's the plan? Brooke asked. You are the plan. I hadn't really thought beyond you going up to the ICU and making a ruckus. Brooke licks her bee-stung lips. Making a ruckus is one of my favorite things to do. What do you think we should do? Let out a primal scream? Strip? Smash a guitar? Wait. I didn't bring my guitar. Dang it. You could sing something, someone suggests. How about that old Smith song, Girlfriend in a Coma? Someone calls. Adam blanches at the sudden reality check, and Brooke raises her eyebrows in a stern rebuke. Everyone goes serious. Kim clears her throat. It doesn't do us any good if Brooke is a diversion in the lobby. We need to go upstairs to the ICU, then maybe someone could shout that Brooke Vega is here. That might do it. If it doesn't, then sing. All we really want is to lure a couple of curious nurses out, and that grouchy head nurse after them. Once she comes out of the ICU and sees all of us in the hall, she'll be too busy dealing with us to notice that Adam has slipped inside. Brooke appraises Kim in her rumpled black pants and unflattering sweater. Then Brooke smiles and links arms with my best friend. Sounds like a plan. Let's motor, kids. I lag behind, watching this procession of hipsters barrel through the lobby. The sheer noisiness of them, of their heavy boots and loud voices, buzzed on by their sense of urgency, ricochets through the quiet hush of the hospital and breathes some life into the place. I remember watching a TV program once about an old age homes that brought in cats and dogs to cheer the elderly and dying patients. Maybe all hospitals should import groups of rabble-rousing punk rockers to kickstart the languishing patients' hearts. They stop in front of the elevator, waiting endlessly for one empty enough to ferry them up as a group. I decide that I want to be next to my body when Adam makes it to the ICU. I wonder if I will be able to feel his touch on me. While they wait at the elevator banks, I scramble up the stairs. I've never been gone from the ICU for more than 2 hours, and a lot has changed. There's a new patient in one of the empty beds, a middle-aged man whose face looks like one of those surrealist paintings. Half of it looks normal, handsome even. The other half is a mess of blood, gauze, and stitching, like someone just blew it off. Maybe a gunshot wound. We get a lot of hunting accidents around here. One of the other patients, one who was swaddled in gauze and bandages, and I couldn't see if she was a man or a woman, is gone. In her place is a woman whose neck is immobilized in one of those collar things. As for me, I'm off my ventilator now. I remember the social worker telling my grandparents and Aunt Diane that this was a positive step. I stop to check if I feel any different, but I don't feel anything, not physically anyhow. I haven't since I was in the car this morning, listened to Beethoven's Cello Sonata Number 3. Now I'm breathing on my own. My wall of machines beeps far less, so I get fewer visits from the nurses. Nurse Ramirez, the one with the nails, looks over at me every now and again, but she's busy with a new guy with half the face. Holy crud, is that Brooke Vega? I hear someone ask in a totally fake dramatic voice from outside the ICU's automatic doors. I've never heard any of Adam's friends talk so PG-13 before. It's their sanitized hospital version of, holy crap. You mean Brooke Vega of Bikini? Brooke Vega, who was on the cover of Spin magazine last month? Here in this very hospital? This time it's Kim talking. She sounds like a 6-year-old reciting lines from a school play out about the food groups. You mean you're supposed to eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day? Yeah, that's right, says Brooke Raspy's voice. I'm here to offer some rock and roll succor to all the people of Portland. A couple of the younger nurses, the one who probably listen to pop radio or watch MTV and have heard of Bikini, look up, their faces excited question marks. I hear them whispering, eager to see if it's really Brooke or maybe just happy for the break in the routine. Yeah, that's right. So I thought I might sing a little song. It's one of my favorites. It's called Eraser, Brooke says. One of you guys want to count me in? I need something to tap with, Liz answers. Anyone got some pens or something? Now the nurses and orderlies in the ICU are very curious and heading towards the doors. I'm watching it all play out like a movie on the screen. I stand next to my bed, my eyes trained on the double doors, waiting for them to open. I'm itching with suspense. I can think of Adam, of how calming it feels when he touches me. How when he absentmindedly strokes the nape of my neck or blows warm air on my cold hands, I could melt into a puddle. What's going on? The older nurse demands. Suddenly, every nurse on the floor is looking at her, not out toward Brooke anymore. No one is going to try to explain to her that a famous pop star is outside. The moment has broken. I feel the tension ease into disappointment. The door isn't going to open. Outside, I hear Brooke start belting out the lyrics to Eraser. Even in a cappella, even though the automatic double doors, she sounds good. Somebody call security now, the nurse growls. Adam, you better just go for it, Liz yells. Now or never. Full court press. Go, screams Kim, suddenly an army general. We'll cover you. The door opens. In tumble more than half a dozen punkers. Adam, Liz, Fitzy, some people I don't know, and then Kim. Outside, Brooke is still singing, as though this were the concert she'd come to Portland to give. As Adam and Kim charged through the door, they both looked determined, happy even. I'm amazed by their resilience, by their hidden pockets of strength. I want to jump up and down and root for them like I used to do at Teddy's T-ball games when he'd be rounding third and heading for home. It's hard to believe, but watching Kim and Adam in action, I actually feel happy too. Where is she? Adam yells. Where's Mia? In the corner next to the supply closet, someone shouts. It takes me a minute to realize it's Nurse Ramirez. Security! Get him! Get him! The grumpy nurse shouts. She has spotted Adam through all the other invaders, and her face has gone pink with anger. 2 hospital security guards and 2 orderlies run outside. Dude, was that Brooke Vega? One of them asks, as he snags Fitzy and flings him towards the exit. Think so, the other one answers, grabbing Sarah and staring her out. Kim has spotted me. Adam, she's here, she screams, and then she turns to look at me. The scream dying in her throat. She's here, she says again, only this time it's a whisper. Adam hears her as he's dodging nurses and making his way to me. Then he's there at the foot of my bed, his hand reaching out to touch me, his hand about to be on me. Suddenly think of our first kiss after the Yo-Yo Ma concert. How I didn't know how badly I wanted his lips on mine until the kiss was imminent. I didn't realize just how much I was craving his touch until now that I can almost feel it on me. Almost. But suddenly he's moving away from me. 2 guards have him by the shoulders and have yanked him back. One of the same guards grabs Kim's elbow and leads her out. She's limp now, offering no resistance. Brooke's still singing in the hallway. When she sees Adam, she stops. Sorry, honey, she says. I got a jet before I miss my show, or get arrested. And then she's off down the hall, trailed by a couple of orderlies begging for her autograph. Call the police, the old nurse yells. Have him arrested. We're taking him down to security. That's protocol, one guard says. Not up to us to arrest, the other adds. Just get him off my ward, she harumphs and turns around. Miss Ramirez, that had better not have been you abetting those hoodlums. Of course not. I was in the supply closet. I missed all the hubbub, she replies. She's such a good liar that her face gives nothing away. The old nurse claps her hands. Okay, show's over. Back to work. I chase after Adam and Kim, who are being led into the elevators. I jump in with them. Kim looks dazed, like someone flipped her reset button, and she's still booting up. Adam's lips are set in a grim line. I can't tell if he's about to cry or about to punch the guard. For his sake, I hope it's the former. For my own, I hope it's the latter. Downstairs, the guard hustles Adam and Kim toward a hallway filled with darkened offices. They're about to go inside one of the few offices when lights come on and I hear someone scream Adam's name. Adam, stop, is that you? Willow? Adam yells. Willow? Kim mumbles. Excuse me, where are you taking them? Willow yells at the guards as she runs towards them. I'm sorry, but these two were caught trying to break into the ICU, one guard explains. Only because they wouldn't let us in, Kim explains weakly. Willow catches up to them. She's still wearing her old nursing clothes, which is strange because she normally changes out of what she calls orthopedic culture as soon as she can. Her long, curly auburn hair looks lanky and greasy, like she's forgotten to wash it these past few weeks. And her cheeks, normally rosy like apples, have been repainted beige. Excuse me, I'm an RN over at Cedar Creek. I did my training here, so if you like, we can go straighten this out with Richard Cotters. Who's he? One guard asks. Director of Community Affairs, the other one replies. When he turns to Willow, he's not here. It's not business hours. Well, I have his phone number, Willow says, brandishing her cell phone like a weapon. I doubt he'd be pleased if I were to call him now and tell him how his hospital were treating someone trying to visit his crucially wounded girlfriend. You know that the director values compassion as much as efficiency, and this is not the way to treat a concerned loved one. We're just doing our job, ma'am, following orders. How about I save you to the trouble and take it from here? The patient's family is all assembled upstairs. They're waiting for these two to join them. Here, if you have any problems, you can tell Mr. Cotters to get in touch with me. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a card and hands it over. One of the guards looks at it, hands it to the other, who stares at it and shrugs. Might as well save herself the paperwork, he says. He lets go of Adam, whose body slumps like a scarecrow taken off his pole. Sorry, kid, he says to Adam, brushing off his shoulders. I hope your girlfriend's okay, the other mumbles, and then they disappear towards the glow of some vending machines. Kim, who has met Willow all of twice, flings herself into her arms. Thank you, she murmurs into her neck. Willow hugs her back, pats her on the shoulders before letting her go. She rubs her eyes and winces out a brittle laugh. What in the heck were you two thinking? She asks. I want to see Mia, Adam says. Willow turns to look at Adam, and it's like someone has unscrewed her valve, letting all her air escape. She deflates. She reaches out and touches Adam's cheek. Of course you do. She wipes her eyes with the heel of her hand. Are you okay? Kim asks. Willow ignores the question. Let's see about getting you into Mia. Adam perks up when he hears this. You think you can? The old nurse has it in for me. If that old nurse is who I think she is, she doesn't matter if she has it in for you. It's not up to her. Let's check in with Mia's grandparents, and then I'll find out who's in charge of breaking the rules around here and get you in to see your girl. She needs you now, more than ever. Adam swivels around and hugs Willow with such force that her feet lift up off the ground. Willow to the rescue, just the way she rescued Henry, Dad's best friend and bandmate, who once upon a time was a total drunk playboy. When he and Willow had been dating a few weeks, she told him to straighten out and dry out or say goodbye. Dad said a lot of girls had given Henry ultimatums, tried to force him to settle down, and lots of girls had been left crying on the sidewalk. But when Willow packed her toothbrush and told Henry to grow up, Henry was the one who cried. When he dried his tears, grew up, got sober and monogamous. 8 years later, here they are, with a baby no less. Willow is formidable that way, probably why after she and Henry got together, she became Mom's best friend. She was another tough as nails, tender as a kitten, feminist woman. And probably why she was one of Dad's favorite people, even though she hated the Raymonds and thought baseball was boring. While Dad lived for the Raymonds and thought baseball was a religious institution. Now Willow is here. Willow the nurse. Willow who didn't take no for an answer is here. She'll get Adam in to see me. She'll take care of everything. Hooray, I want to shout. Willow is here. I'm so busy celebrating Willow's arrival that the implication of her being here takes a few moments to sink in. But when it does, it hits me like a jolt of electricity. Willow is here, and if she's here, if she's in my hospital, it means there isn't any reason for her to be in her hospital. I know her well enough to know that she would never have left him there. Even with me here, she would have stayed with him. He was broken and brought to her for fixing. He was her patient, her priority. I think about the fact that Gran and Gramps are in Portland with me, and that all anyone in the waiting room is talking about is me, how they are avoiding mentioning Mom or Dad or Teddy. I think about Willow's face, which looks like it has been scrubbed clean of all joy. And I think about what she told Adam, that I need him now, more than ever. And that's how I know Teddy. He's gone too. Okay, then we have the little feather thing, so we know we're going back in time. Mom went into labor 3 days before Christmas. She insisted we go holiday shopping together. Shouldn't you, lie down or go to the birthing center or something? I ask. Mom grimaces through a cramp. Nah, the contractions aren't that bad, and they're still 20 minutes apart. I cleaned the entire house from top to bottom while I was in early labor with you. Putting the labor in labor, I joked. You're a smart one. You know that? Mom said. She took a few breaths. I've got a ways to go. Now, come on, let's take a bus to the mall. I'm not up to driving. Shouldn't we call Dad? I asked. Mom laughed. Please, it's enough for me to have to birth this baby. I don't need to deal with him too. We'll call him when I'm ready to pop. I'd much rather have you around. So Mom and I wandered through the mall, stopping every couple of minutes so she could sit down and take deep breaths and squeeze my wrist so hard it left angry red marks. Still, it was weirdly fun and productive morning. We bought presents for Gran and Gramps, a sweater with an angel on it and a new book about Abraham Lincoln, and toys for the baby and a new pair of rain boots for me. Usually we waited for the holiday sales to buy stuff like that, but Mom said that this year we'd be too busy changing diapers. Now's not the time to be cheap. Aw, frick. Sorry, Mia. Come on, let's go get pie. We went to Marie Callender's. Mom had a slice of pumpkin and of banana. I had blueberry. When she was done, she pushed her plate away and announced she was ready to go to the midwife. We never really talked about me being there or not being there. I went everywhere with Mom and Dad at that point, so it was just kind of assumed. We met a nerve-wracked dad at the birthing center, which was nothing like a doctor's office. It was on the ground floor of a house, just inside, decked out with beds and jacuzzi tubs, the medical equipment discreetly tucked away. The hippie midwife led Mom inside, and Dad asked me if I wanted to come too. By now I could hear Mom screaming profanities. I can call Gran and see if she'll pick you up, Dad said, wincing at Mom's barrage. This might take a while. I shook my head. Mom needed me. She'd said so. I sat down on one of the floral couches and picked up a magazine with a goofy-looking bald baby on the cover. Dad disappeared into the room with the bed. Music! Dang it, music! Mom screamed. We have some lovely Enya, very soothing, the midwife says. Not Enya, Mom screamed. Melvin's. Earth, now. I've got it covered, Dad said. Then he popped a CD of the loudest, churringest, guitar-heaviest music I'd ever heard. It made all the fast-paced punk songs Dad normally listened to sound like harp music. This music was primal and seemed to make Mom feel better. She started making these low, guttural noises. I just sat there quietly. Every so often she'd scream my name and I'd scamper inside. Mom would look up at me, her face plastered with sweat. Don't be scared, she whispered. Women can handle the worst kind of pain. You'll figure that out one day. Then she'd scream again. I'd seen a couple of births on the cable TV show, and people usually yelled for a while. Sometimes they swore, and it had to be bleeped. But I never took longer than a half hour. After 3 hours, Mom and the Melvins were still screaming along. The whole birthing center felt tropically humid, even though it was 40 degrees outside. Henry dropped by. When he came inside and heard the noise, he froze in his tracks. I knew the whole kid thing freaked him out. I'd overheard Mom and Dad talking about that, and Henry's refusal to grow up. He apparently had been shocked when Mom and Dad had me, and now was completely bewildered that they chose to have a second. They'd both been relieved when he and Willow had gotten back together. Finally, a grown-up in Henry's life, Mom had said. Henry looked at me, his face was pale and sweaty. Holy crap, me. Should you be hearing this? Should I be hearing this? I shrugged. Henry sat down next to me.